Hi, beautiful souls. Wagwan. It's so good to connect with you. I am Marcia C., and you are tapped into her sacred soul space. As usual, I'm here with my soul sisters.
Yolande.
Beatriz.
Dr. Kia.
Natalie.
And we're so excited to have you. Let me just refresh your memory as to who we are. Here you have a safe space where we have authentic conversations. You know, those conversations that
I think we should leave that right in there because that's real.
Yes.
You know, those conversations that soothes your heart and expands your soul. We have a lot to talk about today. It is Women's Month, and we are going to dive right into it. But before we do so, let's send some love. We need to send some love to our viewers, some love to Ukraine and Russia. So we're just going to take a moment and just get into that space of sending peace and love and healing to those out there. Can we do that, ladies?
Absolutely.
That was so beautiful. So beautiful. All right. So let's get this party started. Why don't we?
Yes. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Before Beatrice, I know you're going to talk about something super excited, but I just wanted to do a quick plug. It's been a year. A few of us had actually shared our story in this book last year, February. And so I just wanted to give a shout out. If you're interested to know a little bit more about our stories, that is Dr. Fisher, Yolanda, and myself. Please go ahead and tap into No More Silence. The book is still out there. We will also put the website in our description box, okay? So just wanted to put that in there because that's super special because some of us are first-time writers in that book. So
Yeah.
Over to you, Dr. Charles.
Hi, everybody. It is so good to be with you in this space again that we call her Sacred Soul Space. And, you know, we're celebrating women all month long. And I also want to give a shameless plug as well. I'm also celebrating 1 year of becoming a first-time author as well. And I was a part of an anthology called Radical Woman. So we're going to include the link for my book as well so you can read about my story. But what I want to share with you ladies today is, as many of you know, I've been on a journey of self-development and self-discovery and just crafting myself to be the woman that I've always, look up to, and now to see me becoming her. So on my path of evolution and becoming who I always wanted to be, I discovered a woman by the name of April Mason. And I started to follow her. You know, it's funny, actually, I ran into her about 5 or 6 years ago. But at that time, my mind was not ready to receive her message because I was on a current path. I was on a different path. But life has shifted me elsewhere. So in rebuilding and reconstructing life as I would like it to be, I started to follow April Mason, and she has written several books. But my personal favorite, which I want to share with all of my friends as well as you, and I would love for you all to pick up this book. It's already an Amazon bestseller, and it is called Identity Switch. Oh my God, how do y'all like that title, first of all?
Oh, love it.
Identity Switch, right? Who would not want to make an identity switch? Who wants to remain the same? I know I certainly don't. I mean, I look so different, not just physically, but inside out from, a year ago, 6 months ago. And I'm just so excited. Every day I pinch myself, and I'm just so proud of becoming her. So in this book, April covers entirely what the new you should be in your journey of becoming. And I just want to share with you some of the titles of this book. First of all, I'm a little biased because everything starts with her. Hey. And we all know that her Sacred Soul Space is all about making her being and bringing her to her maximum potential. Yeah. So that's why I just felt like this book would be a perfect read for us, ladies. I hope you agree with me. So here we go. So some of the chapters include, and I'm going to just go alphabetical order or how she has it, mindset. So she teaches you how to change your mindset from the old you versus to who you want to be. Because one of the first places that you must begin to change is up here. Because the same actions will not give you different results. So you must change. The shift must first occur here because you have to make a decision. And then we go on to her femininity, right? And femininity is not just wearing the color pink, but it's tapping into your feminine energy and bringing her out to work for you. You know, men have feminine energy too. So it's good to learn and have a balance, that we're not too masculine and that we're not too feminine either. Because we have to be able to assert ourselves in different areas of our lives. And so we go on to what her habits should be, how her standards should be, because as we grow and develop, you have to set those boundaries, girls. So you must set new standards for yourself, right? And what her environment should look like. And I love this part because she talks about how it's so important doing something as simple as making your bed every day before you start the day, because that helps you slow down. And it's one of those tasks that takes like less than 10 minutes to do. But being cognizant of not leaving the house and not making your bed could set you on a different pace for your day, as well as her style. Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorite chapters as I've been working on cultivating who I want to be, tapping into my sensuality, tapping into my sexiness, and you know, enjoying the body that I'm currently in as I work on becoming her, right? And it's about accentuating what you love. Like, one of the parts of my body that I love is my chest. I'm not showing her right now, but I love her, okay? It's one of the few parts of my body that my children did not, you know. So also her friendships. And let me tell you, the friends I had 5 years ago, I don't see it. They're not over here. My friendships look nothing like how they used to. So on the journey of becoming you, embrace the fact that, you know, everybody can't go with you. Everybody can't go with you, and some will and some won't, and that's okay. And you know what? As well as her money. Oh my goodness. You know, we talk about like, well, not us, not the women that we're trying to be. We're not trying to boss up and level up to nobody. Because what we have is already in us to get what we want for our creator. So all we have to do is tap into her so we can bring that out, right? And we talk about her self-care. Like today, ladies, as you all know, is my self-care day. So I take the entire day of just starting in the morning with my appointments and doing things strictly for me. So today is my self-care day. And her man, oh my goodness. What is her man gonna look like? Lord have mercy. I'm still building mine, honey. Okay. And also her lifestyle. That woman that you admire, who you look up to. It is not just for you to look on the TV screen and see her and say, man, I wish I was her. Man, I wish I had her man. Man, I wish I had her lifestyle. Or I wish I dressed like her. But it's about tapping into the best you, the best Beatrice that I can be, right? And you'll see it's not about copying somebody else, but it's about collectively grabbing and gleaning from others and becoming better you. So I am so happy to say that one of the areas in my life that I'm on track, according to April Mason, is my friendships. So I love you, ladies. You are exactly who I need right now. I value you all for different reasons, and I'm just so excited to share as we get into our topic. Back to you, Marsha.
Yay! Love it.
Also, we're going to have discussion on our chat, or how do you suppose we're going to do that? Talk a little bit about that. How are we going to talk about the book and the gems we received from the book? Is that going to be placed in our YouTube chat, or is that going to be on our Facebook page?
Well, I think that it should probably be available in both, right? Because, you know, some users prefer YouTube and some prefer Facebook. So I think we should definitely if possible, make it available in both spaces. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Sounds great. So you
Okay.
hear that, ladies? Beautiful souls. Look out for conversation on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. Okay, sounds great. Lovely. Thank you, B. That is so awesome. I love the passion that you
Yes.
felt. It is like definitely getting my book this week, y'all.
Come on. Come on. Yes.
Identity Switch by April Mason.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's good stuff. And Beatrice already hinted a little bit about what our topic today is going to be. So here we go. As we are at the beginning of Women's Month, we thought it would be perfect for us to talk about something that is near and dear to our hearts. It's the reason why we have this podcast, friendship.
Yes.
Her friendship. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Her sacred soul space friendship, which ties into the book chapter that says her friendship. So today we are going to lean in a little bit and just talk about what friendship means to us. And as we talk about this together, I hope that you also lean in, that you check in with yourself, you check in with your friendships and see where you fall. I'm looking out at the screen at my girls, and for me, they're like a bouquet. We're also leaning into or moving into spring. And we wanted to work spring in here some kind of way. So I'm looking at them, and, you know, Marsha is already a whole bundle of flowers. Also, yeah, well, if Kia would stand up, you would see she's also a bunch of flowers. And I was saying that Beatrice looks like a whole daisy or a rose over there in pink. Natalie is also wearing floral, and I'm wearing brown. And this was intentional because usually you don't associate brown with spring. But out of the earth comes everything. And I feel like friendships are just like the earth. They're the foundation to who we become, how we present, and how we do in life. So let's move into that little segment and start talking about what friendship means to us. For me, I've always been a friendly person. I remember coming through, my school years, always being well liked, liking people. I just love people, period. So I didn't have a problem with friendship, but friendships changed for me in the last several years. It took on a whole different meaning. And I realized that what I thought were like friendships before were really acquaintances. And as we progress through life, do you want me to stop? Come on, girl.
Yeah, girl, say that again because that was powerful. Listen, that just gave me chills, like literally.
Because the friendships that I have now aren't like, and it doesn't mean that I'm not acknowledging friends, because friends, I think, have different tiers.
Sure.
But I think some of the people that I was calling friends, when I look at the friendships that I have now, especially, and I know it might not be fair to them, oh my God, because you are my sacred circle. Some people have fallen off into what I would call acquaintances, and we need those. Don't get me wrong. We need acquaintances too. But I just noticed that over the years, what I consider a friendship has evolved a lot. So friends come to serve us at different points in our life. Right? I know we've heard this saying, people come in our lives for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And if you look back over your life, you look through, elementary school, middle school, high school. If we look at it from our island friends, primary school and high school, secondary school, you know what I'm saying? College. We've had people come in and out of our lives. That's normal. Hello, somebody. Get used to that. And some of you might be at the place where you're looking for new friendships, and that's okay. Wherever you are is fine. Wherever you are is fine. No judgment. Just understand that your friendships determine your next level. right? They
Yes.
say you become like the 5 people you hang around. This is 4 of my 5. I have a little bit more than 5, thank God. But look around you, like really start observing and noticing, who am I around? Where am I in life? Because who you've been hanging around, who you've been friends with, has helped to form, create, cultivate the woman that you are right now. So before I take up all the time, I want to quickly move into the conversation because you need to feel the energy that we have going on here. Okay, so I want to ask my girls, how do you all define friendships? How are you defining friendships? Let's talk about that. Who wants to go first?
I mean, honestly, in my early years, I didn't define friendship. It was just something that just happened, like you mentioned, well, the primary school is just that you may just be the person that sat next to me, and then we just started to become friends.
Right.
I didn't really think about holistically what are the characteristics of a good friendship, and what a friendship is here, how it's here to serve me. So I just used to just roll with it,
Right.
But as an adult, I discovered I became more of an observer. So people tend to would come to me, and because they gravitate towards me, and they would see me as their friend, but I didn't see them as my friend because it went into the acquaintances basket, as you said, right?
Yeah.
So for me now, how I define it, it has to be a solid space where I feel safe enough for me to talk and share with knowing that I'm not being judged or ridiculed. So that's what's important for me when it comes on to friendship.
Say for me, growing up, I grew up with a huge family, so those were my first friends, right? But then when life started happening with me and I experienced some trauma, my equation in regards to friendship at that time, all the way up probably till 30, was I want the friendship, I want the love because I didn't have it, So it didn't matter who it came from or what it looked like. I kind of was accepting because I needed it. I thirst for it. Now, I would say maybe 38, 39, especially when I went through a whole transition in regards to my life and my healing and releasing some things in some people, I realized that it's divinely designed for me. And when I sat back and looked at, okay, God, who am I supposed to connect to? And I allowed myself to not look at who knew who or whatever, but how I was connected to them. It became something that was profound in a way where, like Yolande said, it built me to who I am now. And the reciprocity was very important to me. Love, I didn't have to buy it. I didn't have to beg for it. It was there, poured into me, and I poured into them, and sometimes it took experiences like Yolande and we had an experience together. And now, sometimes I'm like, is she my twin or what? Because
I know, right?
We think some things the same. We say some things at the same time, and you guys, each one of you, I can go through it. Marsha and I, that's my girl. I ain't have to hide nothing from her, and when you can be yourself with people and they don't judge you and you don't have to curtail anything, that is the most freeing thing ever. Natalie and B came on the scene after. And I think looking at B, what she went through, I can identify. It may have been a different journey, but I can identify when everybody closed you out, when you had to dismiss anyone. Natalie and her empowerment, that it's genuine. So her connection to me whenever we were looking online, or when Yolande introduced me to Natalie and we were on the same spiritual path, it built friendship, So to me, friendship in a nutshell is divine alignment. And you can't go wrong with divine.
That gave me chills.
Yes, it sure did. Literally.
That gave me chills.
I define friendship differently now. I've always been someone who, before I even knew what energy was and how to define energy, I've always been someone who's my friendships, the people that I associate with, are similar to me in some ways, or energy align in some ways. but it wasn't always beneficial. Because why I say that, when sometimes you can be friends with people, but it's trauma connection. Like we have the same, we experience
Trauma
the
bonding.
same trauma. Yes,
That's
trauma
it, B.
bonding. And what I was finding is people would come into my life because there was something that I could provide. And the minute that they get what they wanted, they would leave.
Mm.
And so that create a mistrust for me, where I wouldn't really trust the relationship until I see how you built on it. What, until I see you showing up years after years, then I could say, oh, okay, this person is my friend, not at first sight. And now I'm more call people, you guys, sisters than friends. It's more like a sisterhood to me than a friendship. I feel like this is it's more powerful. It's deeper than that, than just friends. But I love people. I love connecting with other people, but the connection has to be deeper. And there has to be a reciprocity involved.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As you all are sitting here talking about how you view friendships, I couldn't help but think about how my friendships, started, because in our culture, Natalie, you might be able to associate with this. I remember, my parents. We have this thing in Haiti where it's like, your parents are the ones who give you your friends. Basically, your first friends are your mother's children. They become your friends, right? Say, for instance, your mom is, your girlfriend. She has a girlfriend and she has a daughter, and that's your friend. And and they even expected to do that when you were like in high school. And when you come home and oh, so and so's coming over, like who's so and so? Who's her mother? I don't know her mother. That's not your friend. I didn't give you her as a friend, but that's just how I kind of grew up, right? But I also noticed that kind of followed me even in my adulthood, because in my early 20s, I joined a church, right? And so in church has this sense of, you can't mix with the world. So it was like I had to make friends inside of the church, because that was expected. Like, that's my sisters, and it's, they are holy and they are this and they're that. They should be your friends. But guess what? I was looking around. They didn't want to be my friend.
It wasn't ready for you.
They didn't want to be my friend. I mean, I was there for many, 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 many years before I actually found a friend. So, but as you work on self, right? As I began to work on me, and I was telling a friend this morning, as I began to work on Beatrice, right? And going back and dealing with past hurt and childhood trauma and all of that, people fell off. But see, that's where the energy that Natalie talked about comes in, because as you cleanse from the inside out,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
As you cleanse and you become more pure and in tune within, right? And who you're destined to be, the atmosphere, the universe will do what she does. Mother Earth will do what she does, and she will shed and she will trim and she will shave. She will cut you. You will bleed. But I assure you that once that happens, you're not going to need to worry about, you know what? I called Yolanda 3 times yesterday, and she still ain't called me back yet. Your mind will not think that way anymore.
Yes. So true.
Because you have dealt with your trauma and your pain. So the way that I define friendships and cleanliness and, and just meeting somebody, right? And meeting one person as a best friend. And in this book, Identity Switch, she talks about the importance of having several friends because they serve different purposes.
Yes.
Right? So I can tell you, I'm so excited to be me right now. It's not even funny.
That's right.
I want to piggyback on that. because when I was going through my transition or my awakening, I had to go silent. It was one of the things that, God placed in my spirit, because I did not want to hear that noise, because I understand that individuals would not understand where God was taking me. They thought that I was going away from him when he was actually aligning me more to be myself, right?
They assumed that. Let's call it what it is. They assumed that. A-S-S.
Mhm.
They assumed that's what you were doing. Your big old ass. Okay? And I'm telling you,
Yes, girl.
that's what they
Thank you.
that's what they do.
Mhm.
And I don't want to forget this. I don't want to forget this, because I thought about it, and I've never ever honored Yolande in front of all of you. But I must say this, because and I told her this just the other day. In 2018,
Mm.
oh
Oh,
Lord
yes,
Jesus,
I know.
Come on now.
in 2018, when the entire church,
Mhm.
oh Lord have mercy, and all I wanted to do was stay in church so I don't get away from the Father.
Mm.
I remember when they found out about my situation, when they found out about my bleeding situation, and I walked into church on a Sunday. As I walked into the front door, Brother so-and-so pointed at me and started laughing. I
Mm.
mean, laughing, laughing. And I mean, and it just, several people came up to me. Everybody's talking about you. Everybody's talking about you. And let me tell you, y'all, you don't understand. There was one woman
Mm.
who I wasn't even friends with like that.
Mhm.
Okay? I wasn't even friends with like that. She saw where I was bleeding in the wrong place.
Mhm.
I was bleeding publicly on Facebook. And I don't regret it, because when I made that video, if I hadn't said something, I probably would have, who knows what would have happened to me. And in fact, my friend encouraged me to be, you got to say something. You got to speak. And so I bled. And not one sister from that church,
Mm.
not the first lady, not my pastor. In fact, I shouldn't even return my calls or my texts. But Yolande Asmard,
Mm.
she called the next day. She said, wait a minute. She said, sis, I saw something. What's going on?
Mm.
And I could tell in her what's going on. It wasn't because she wanted to know, but I had been dropped.
Mhm.
I had been dropped.
Mhm.
And that woman picked me up. She picked me up, and she never put me down.
Mhm.
That's what you
She
call
is the
divine
only
assignment.
person during my journey. There were months where I didn't talk to a single person, but I never stopped talking to her the entire time.
Mm.
And so, Yolande, I want to thank you. I want to give you your flowers today, and I give them to you often, but I want to give it to you publicly to say, I thank you for calling me out of concern, for calling me because you cared, for calling me, not because you want to know what had happened, but because you saw me bleeding and you heard my cries for help and you came.
Yes.
So you were in divine alignment, you were in divine assignment, and
Yes.
you kept me.
Yes.
And what
Yes.
people didn't know is during that time, I was struggling with thoughts of suicide. I was struggling with thoughts of, they were ugly.
Mhm.
They were ugly. But Lord, I thank you.
Mm.
I thank you for being the woman of God that you are. I thank you for being able to hear from God and not saying, if she could have said, you know what? I don't want to bother with her.
Mhm.
I don't even know her like that. I don't want to bother with her. But no, but she saw in me what I couldn't see in me. She saw in me what I didn't believe in me. And I remember early on, Yolande said, Beatrice, what if it's not the devil?
Mm.
What if it's God? What if this is God's rescue plan for you?
Come on now.
What if?
Hmm.
And remember, I had my church ears on. I had my church mind on, where I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. The devil is a lie.
Yes.
But it was her spirit. It was her energy. And I'm taking too much time, y'all. I could talk about her all day, so I'm going to stop. I just want to say I love you.
Oh.
I love you for life. And I trust you. And I told you this. You're the only person that I know that can call me at 4 o'clock in the morning and say, B, pack up your stuff and meet me in Orlando. And I wouldn't ask you why.
Mm.
Or meet me wherever. And I wouldn't ask you why. I would go.
Mhm.
And I trust you so much that even the people that introduced me to, because, you know, birds of a feather flock together,
Amen.
I knew they had to be good people. I knew it. And you've been that nucleus for us all. So I love you. I celebrate you. I honor you. And there's a part in this book where it talks about, you know, who do you consider to be a feminine woman and why? And you are one of my entries in here.
What?
Marsha, I'm so
Oh my
sorry.
God.
Back to you, sweetheart. I ain't gonna talk for the rest of the show, okay?
That was divine. That was divine.
That
That's
was, yeah.
Yeah, you just me
Thank
just know
you.
space now like
you start something. That's one now. You know what?
simmer. I'm just simmering because I totally that was so beautiful, and we feel the same way about the nucleus, Miss Yolande. Just a beautiful soul. We're just happy that she's in the center of all of this.
Yeah.
What I was going to say as well, Beatrice, is that when I was going through my transition, I actually had to become my own friend because I wasn't able to talk to anyone because I didn't. Once again, what was very important to me was how people see me. I was raised kind of like a people pleaser. So in order for me for people to see me in a bad light, I just kept to myself because I wanted to understand really and truly what was going on with me. And so when I started asking for breadcrumbs for like-minded people, my soul tribe to come in. And therefore, as a collective, we just stuck to each other. We just found each other in such a beautiful way. So, I planted my seed. I manifested my seed and you ladies came forth. And so I'm so grateful that I can now have ladies, beautiful souls like you, where I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And, it goes back to when you talked about the acquaintances, Yolande. It's hard for us to be vulnerable with them because they don't understand. They're going to see us in a different light, even if we don't see them in the same light that they see us. Do you understand? Yeah. So that was, it was important for me to reconnect with me that way, to become a friend of my own friend, thus allowing those who are supposed to be attached to me to come in. So yeah. Let's go into the love language part of it because that was super important. Because I know Kia threw that out there for us as we were prepping, and I really wanted to hear how you ladies associate love language with friendship, because normally it's with a partner, a spouse, or something like that. So Nat, let's hear from you, beautiful.
Well, for me, my love language in romantic relationship is quality time, and it so happened it's the same in friendship. I love spending time with the people that I call friends. I feel like you are my friend, you are my sister. So quality time is very important to me, whether it's on the phone, whether it's face to face. As long as we get to spend some time together, just chatting and connecting, that's how I communicate and that's how I receive. For another thing for me is reciprocity, and it's not a love language, but that's very important to me in friendship, that we are able to reciprocate the friendship, where I don't feel like one person is giving too much, one person is taking too much, or that's. And I'm also like that in romantic relationship. It's interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand why I even brought it up was because it made sense where if I love someone, I would want them to love me the way I needed to be loved, whether it's a friend, whether it's a relative, whether it's my romantic partner, my husband, what have you. So it only made sense. Mine also, my first one is quality time. And the second one is affirmations. And without even knowing, my friends give it to me. We're all busy. We have our lives, what have you. But when we come together, even when we have our moments, when we come together and just pour into each other, share space with each other, congratulate each other, that's quality time for me. Be coming down here and I'm like, okay, for my girls, let's go and have fun together, and just being, I always say, I just need to feel y'all. I just need to be in the space. And it don't have to be every month, because sometimes the connection is so strong when I see something on Facebook, or if I'm going through something, I will pick up the phone or whatever the case may be. So that, to me, quality time. Affirmations, I never got that as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It was missing as a kid. And getting into adulthood, when I went through some stuff with some, I don't want to call them friends anymore, but old people that I thought were my friends, there was no affirmations. They were questioning, because I'm a different type of breed, Yeah. So how the hell she get a DR and she little get, you know what I'm saying? So I never got the affirmations from them. I got more punching. How could she? Or watch her, or because I'm a little too bold, or whatever the case may be. But then when I found my circle, and I found it to be not like, it's you guys probably have two more that pour into me, that are friends aside from family. And it started to feel different. I didn't have to ask for it. It came natural. And it wasn't that I was seeking the attention. It's because I thirst for it in some ways, because I never had it. You know what I'm saying? I gave it to people. If you know me online, I'm always throwing it. Affirmations at people, but to hear it from people genuinely without me asking for it, and it's solid. It's not something where they had to do it in order to get something from me.
Yeah, that part.
So that's the same thing I love from my husband, and I love spending time with him. I love getting affirmed from him, saying that, you doing your thing. So hearing it from my friends, why not? Because that's what helps me to keep pushing and keep moving, being in their space and hearing them pour into me. So for me, those are my love languages. And I just want to tell the viewers, be mindful when you get into friendships. And I know some of you are in friendships now and you're trying to decipher who should stay and who should go. I mean, honestly, it sounds weird. It sounds crazy. It sounds cliche. Pray and listen. Meditate on that.
Yeah.
Find the people who actually reach out to you without you even asking. Like B said about Yolande. Yolande has done that many a times for me. I remember one time I was going through something and I started crying. And I'm a thug. I don't cry. But I started crying. And she said, cry. And let this be the last time you cry for them mother effers.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was the last time I cried for them mother effers. You know what I'm saying? So people who know you reach out to you without anything needed in return. Be mindful of that, and don't be afraid to put people in their respective places, acquaintance, family, friends, connections, sisters.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that.
Rich. Oh gosh.
I think that it is so important for the people that you are around to know your heart. It seems like all my life I struggled. Not anymore, but in my previous life, I struggled with people genuinely knowing my heart, and so that it's so important to surround yourselves with women and friends who know your heart. At the end of the day, they know the core of who you are, and they know what you will and you will not do, right? And so that there's less chances for offense, And also it's important for you to, quality time is great, but also to not be needy and clingy, and to know that we all have individual lives, and to have low maintenance friendships. I think that we all have that here. Our friendships are so low and low maintenance. And I love the fact that we can just pick up where we left off. And, if I send Natalie a text, she's a busy woman on the go. It may take her 4, 5, 6 hours to answer. I'm amazed at how many women, full grown women, who will get offended and hurt about a text or a phone call.
Yeah.
It amazes me. And the people who have not done the inner work, they don't understand when you tell them it's something in here. It's not her. It's you. And when you work on you, you'll be concerned that Natalie may not have called you or whatever, but you're not going to be hurt and distraught and angry and upset by it. You know what I'm
Rejected.
saying?
Yeah.
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 You know, I'm telling you, man, you got to do the inner work so that you can cultivate and have beautiful friendships and attract light, because light attracts light. And something that I found out on my healing journey, I never thought that I was insecure. I never thought that I lacked confidence, because I associated confidence and security in my pretty face, because I think I'm beautiful.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And I've never looked in the mirror and thought that I wasn't beautiful. I've always looked beautiful. I've always felt beautiful. But security and self-esteem is not just what's here, but I had low self-esteem inside. And so guess what? I attracted friendships that reflected that. I attracted
Absolutely.
romantic relationships that reflected that. And it goes back to you again. You know what I'm saying? So now my inner core is catching up with what's going on over here. That's why she thinks she all that now.
All that though. You all that though.
Or Beatrice, not only that, it's no longer a facade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Yes.
You know?
I'm gonna pop
Correct.
in.
So, you know, that beautiful smile that I was gifted with, that fooled so many people, right?
Uh,
What are you gonna say, Yolanda?
I was gonna say that how friendship is an inside job. Friendship, everything about our life is an inside job. I was gonna touch on what Kia was saying about love language. Mine is words of affirmation. That's my number one. The second one is physical touch, and I'm a hugger. Right? I'm a hugger, and I feel up on all my girlfriends.
Yes, my legs.
If they have a nice butt, I'm touching it. If they have nice thighs, I'm just it's just true. Natalie, didn't I touch your hips and your booty? I'm always touching Kia's. I'm a physical touch kind of girl. I'm gonna hug you. My hands are gonna touch you some kind of way, and I'm gonna tell you what I appreciate about you. That's just who I am. It's that way in my relationship with my husband. It's the same way with my friends. Our love language speaks with all our relationships, really. But I was going to talk about that part, is that if we don't do our healing, it affects our relationships. And Beatrice, you went straight to it. I mean, thank you so much for your kind words, my sister. You brought me to tears. I knew something was going to happen. Before the show started, I almost said to you guys, I don't know why I feel like I'm on the edge of tears. And then she just said, okay, I'm just going to open up the dam so they can flow out. So I love you.
Connection.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you.
I know you do. I know you
Let
do.
me
The thing about friendship is Marsha said it. She said, I became my own friend first. And when you start doing the work, because everything around you is just reflecting back to you, like Beatrice said, who you are. And so when you're in these unbalanced relationships where you're always giving, and usually the person doesn't realize it, if you're the one who's always receiving, there's something off there. The reciprocity, the balance is so important, because if you are always, it's just not working. You're not growing, right? And relationships, I believe, friendships are supposed to help us to grow and
water each other.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So if you're the one that's always taking, something's wrong with that. You need to look into that. And if you're the one who's always giving, but we need to talk about, people like to talk about, women are toxic, this, that, the other. I don't have that experience. I've never really had toxic female relationships. And where that begins is with you.
Yes.
It begins with you. Are you toxic? Because that's what
you're going to attract.
Right? Are you toxic then? Because if our relationships are reflecting back to us who we are, then there's some things that we need to deal with. And just like Beatrice was saying, if somebody doesn't call you back, what are you making it mean? Maybe she was busy. Maybe when I called Natalie and she didn't respond to my text, she was with a client. But I'm over here making it mean that she's holding a grudge for something that is so insignificant, right?
Maybe she didn't want to call you back. And that's okay.
And that should be okay. That she don't want to talk right now.
This morning, perhaps she didn't want to call you back yet. And
Yes.
that's okay. And if she doesn't call you back for 10 days, that's still okay.
We should be loving her. We should be loving her and not making it mean, right? We should be
Absolutely.
making it mean things that it doesn't mean. Because if we in these friendships, look at them. Look at my flowers. In these friendships, if I text Marsha, if I call and they don't call me back, I'm not over here making it mean something negative. I'm probably concerned though. I hope they're okay. I'm sending out good energy. I'm sending them love because what they're not the type of people to not respond. So something's up, right? Or they're just busy and it'll be time. And you know what's okay? You can call them again.
Yes. And you know what's funny, Yolanda, is there's been times where I've gone missing, right? And I say that because there are times when I withdraw. There are times when
You have to.
the energy has been changed. The chakras have been healed, right? So your girl's in alignment now. Doesn't have to do much anymore. But there were times where, I was in my funk and I wanted to just stay in my funk and just be in my funk, right? And this woman respects that so much. And she would call and she would say, sis, listen, I just called to make sure that you're okay. And we don't have to talk. I just want to know if you're okay. And that's it. Just let me know that you're okay. And then we'd end up chatting for 3 hours,
Yeah.
One of the things I love to ladies is whenever sometimes in the beginning of a friendship, you actually receive one that is solid because that friend actually grows with you or it's okay with you growing. Even they may not grow at the same level, but they still respect and value in such a way. I migrated here when I was 15 years old and I have one solid friend like that. And she's just the type where we can always just talk about whatever. We do not judge each other. She talks about the growth. She pours into me as much as I pour into her. We fall, we pick each other up. We hold each other's hand. Even though, as adults, things shift. We become parents, moms, you have husbands or boyfriends or whatever it is. But to know that even if we don't talk regularly, that we actually still have the connection that when you call, it's just like, what, you need me? With it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That type of vibe. That's what I value so much. And I'm learning regarding the love language. I do love to pour into people. I didn't have a lot of people pouring into me, but I'm learning to receive that because I receive that from you ladies. And not only that, the receiving of gifts, because I'm the one who give. So I didn't know how to receive it. So that was so foreign. I was like, I would always say, no, I'm good. Marsha, can you do such and such? Yeah, I can do that for you. Let me put something in your hand or give you a gift to show you how much I appreciate it. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. It's my pleasure doing this. I had to train my mind, myself to know that it is okay to receive it. But if it's coming from a man, I want it. But when it came from regarding friends or girlfriends, it was very, very hard for me to receive that because I did not see that love language as it being so important in a friendship.
Oh, my girl.
But I think
love language space. I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
For me too, I forgot to add that my another one of mine is words of affirmation because like Kia, I grew up in an environment where that wasn't giving to me. So when I get that from my husband, from my kids, from my friends, it does something to me. It makes me feel good. And that's probably one of the reasons why I love pouring into other people so much. I love empowering people because it's something that it does something to me. I want to expand a little bit on the what Beatrice and Yolanda talk about when it comes to healing. It's important that you heal yourself from the trauma. A lot of times we don't really want to show up in relationship needy. That's not what we want. But because of the things that we haven't healed, trauma that we collected from whether it was past life or in this lifetime, we show up in a relationship, needy. And when somebody doesn't call back or doesn't text back, we create like a lot of other stories in our mind that's not even necessary. And when you pick up the phone, you finally talk to that person, you're like, I was making a big deal out of this. But when we start working on ourselves, we start realizing that, oh, it's me. I'm creating this narrative. It's not anybody else. I have to work on this. If my the trauma that I need to heal is not getting enough attention or getting neglected, abandonment issues, that's something that that's your issue. That's your thing you come here to work with. When somebody doesn't call you back, you automatically feel abandoned.
Yeah.
So you have to work on that, working on making sure that you heal that part of yourselves and becoming friends with yourself first and being comfortable in your own company, loving your company. And then you can show up in your relationship, as the friends and wives and husbands or whatnot that you want to be.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be so needy.
When we say healing, I just wanted to highlight that it is okay for you to seek help, whether you get a therapist or a coach or, someone to walk with you on that journey, to give you some tips or tools so that you can utilize at home, whether it's mirror work or just learning how to pour in you so that you can learn how to appreciate you. Because regardless of whether or not you have a friend, they would want to not be around you if you come off a particular way. You understand? If you're always the type who want to talk about people, or you just have a straight low vibration and the energy going on. So it's important with that healing concept, even though we mentioned it, I just wanted to throw some stuff out there as to how you can even start figuring out, let me go within and check and see what is it within me that I think I need help with. And it is okay to find someone safe. You just pray for that. Pray to find someone safe who can walk with you on your path. And God will deliver. I promise you he will.
And I just want to say those who are in the work, who are healers, who are therapists or what have you. Many times, because I did this, I'm a witness. You are able to help other people through their journey while you are still in your funk.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a doctor who knows cigarettes is not good for you, but they take it smoking breaks, but telling you it's not good for your lungs, So it's okay to be that healer, that therapist that also seeks help.
Yes.
Make you a hypocrite, because in honesty, you know what you've been through. You know what you need to do, but it's up to you to decide it's time for you to do it. You can still help people because you know what you need to do while you're still trying to decide when you need your help, right? So I don't want people to feel like you have to be 100%, as a healer or whatever to help someone else. It's important to, yes, take that time, but you have to know when it's your time to heal, right? You'll be a better healer, a better therapist when you do. When I was going through my stuff, although I believe I'm a bomb therapist,
You are.
gift from
Yeah,
God,
that absolutely.
I'm affirming myself. Yeah. So
Yes.
it's a gift from God. Even going through that, I tapped into Yolande, because Yolande had to tell me certain things that I needed to hear while I was making decisions to do what was right. What was right for me, what was right for situations that I was in order for me to cut that karmatic vibe off so it don't come back. When I had questions, I called Marsha, because I needed to know, you're a spiritual lady, right? I need you in this story. I ain't ready for it yet, So it's okay to go through stuff. And it's okay to choose the right time for you to heal, because I truly believe it's kind of like someone who's been through rape. Sometimes they're not ready to talk yet. But when they're ready to talk, they're ready to heal. They're ready to go all the way. It's not something that you have to dictate to someone. It's something that they have to know for themselves, and in doing that as a therapist and a healer, you become your gift is expounded. It's beautiful. Because
Absolute
now
truth.
you're able to see people more and not put your stuff on them.
on them. Yes.
So that's
And
very important.
Clean up your lens.
you
Absolutely.
I just wanted
And
to add I'm sorry. I just wanted to add a couple of things. Um, I never thought about my girlfriend space as love languages, but I guess if I had to choose a couple of things, it would definitely be quality time. I love girlfriend time. I love picking up where we left off. And also, April says in this book, it's very important to have friends that
Mhm.
when they see you, their eyes light up.
Yes.
Yes.
Not your man, but your friends.
Yes.
And they see you and your eyes light up. And one thing about this group here,
Did
once
that.
we see each other, it's like, and it's not just like behind the camera either. We're like that naturally. So,
Yeah.
and I have been on a journey of everything, of putting myself together. And I value the fact that I don't go where I'm tolerated, but I
Ooh.
go where I'm celebrated.
That's right.
Oh,
And I no longer I no longer sit at tables where I will be the topic of conversation once I get up.
Mhm.
Girl.
Okay? All right. You could be at a whole church picnic.
Mm, mm,
All right.
mm.
You done
Yeah.
cooked all the food.
Mhm.
And when you get up, they're gonna talk about you. You know what I'm saying? So it's so important for you to know. And it's okay to walk away from friendships too, because some people, misery loves company, right? And there are some people that ain't got no business being friends with a certain person.
Mhm.
They know it,
Mhm.
but they don't let them
Mhm.
go. They rather keep them and talk about them, and that's not good. That
That's
ain't
no
good.
bueno.
'Cause you're gonna attract more of that
Yes.
energy,
Yes.
So let's clean up inside out. All right.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm gonna pop in with just a few little blurbs from the book.
Hey.
Right? Identity switch. In the chapter Her Friendships, it says we have to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that when trying to make friends, we are not making our new friends pay for any past mistakes of our old friends. I am not. And then she says, therefore, it is imperative to check ourselves before asking for these amazing friends.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want to do is scare them off with your insecurities. Believe it or not, there are women on the same journey as you looking for authentic friendships.
yeah.
And I'll close off this discussion section with this. Surround yourself with people who will value you, uplift you, remind you of your dopeness, and be there for you when you need it.
Yes.
The only thing required for you to meet and make these types of friends is you being this type of friend. Natalie's word, she ends it with this: reciprocity is everything.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Wow.
quality, not quantity.
Quality, yes. Quality over quantity.
Most
Quality.
definitely.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Yes.
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 So
Who's next? Who got next?
we
We're
going.
going to slide into a gem box,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Sacred Soul Space gem box. So, Natalie, you want to talk about what to expect, or what is her Sacred Soul Space gem box?
Well,
you or Kia?
The gem box that I want to leave with our viewers today, when it comes to attracting the right kind of people to come and vibe with you. So what I've done in my own personal life during my journey, I had some people that they were not bad people. They just not were people that I felt like as I was going to my journey was gonna be the ones to stay with me along the way. And I wanted to bring in, I wanted God, I wanted the universe to align me with the right kind of people. So I was intentional about it. I've always been someone who's intentional about what I want. So I used my intentionality and my connection to source to get me to be aligned to you all. You guys being in my orbit and my space, it's not by accident.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's right.
I have the gem that I'm leaving with our viewers is basically, I want you all to close your eyes right now. close your eyes and picture yourself with your ideal friendships. What does that look like? How are you with each other? What do you talk about? When you see each other, do your face light up? How do you feel when you think about your friends, your circle? And take a deep breath and release. And then when you open your eyes, just go about your day and be intentional about the people you interact with. Pay attention. Pay attention to the little signs. And if you are prompt to have a conversation with somebody, just go ahead. You see a girlfriend rocking an amazing pair of shoes, compliment them.
Girl, I do that.
Yes.
Yes, your hair. I love your hair. And just like that,
Yes.
it could be that connection. And quickly, this happened to me at Publix. Okay, I went to get me a sandwich during lunch and I met this girl. I let her go in front of me. She was in a hurry. And just like that, we are in alignment. She talks about the same thing we're talking about. Now she's my, friend on Instagram. And I could tell that she's someone when we texting, she's like, oh my God, it's not a coincidence that, we met each other today, because I am intentional about who shares my space.
Yes.
And my affirmation before I pass it on to Kia is, I have friendships that are real, genuine, and loyal.
Ooh. Loyal.
I love it.
Genuine and loyal friendships. I have friendships that are real, genuine, and loyal. And keep repeating that. If you're looking for new circles, you're looking for new people to vibe with, just go ahead and plug into her Sacred Souls Facebook page. Just plug in, and you never know, you might find your people within that page. Okay.
Yes. That's good.
Beautiful, Natalie. Thank you so much for that. That is so true in regards to what you're saying. Like, I believe even in your Publix experience, that's a divine connection. There's a reason why you had her go in front of you. And then this developed into a beautiful connection. You don't know what you guys need for each other will be even down the road. So I'm always in tune with stuff like that. I'm a genuinely, friendly person. I don't care how you look, but the response is different when it's divinely connected.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
So,
Ebb and flow. Ebb and flow.
Yes. So for me, when it comes to affirmations, I'm going to share with you an affirmation that I created. Crazy enough, I created this when I was going through certain things. What was it? 2015, 2016?
2015, baby.
2015, and so I wanted to no longer be attached to people who were not genuine and not connecting to me the way that I would connect genuinely to someone that I believe is my friend.
They were energy vampires.
So and the thing about it is, here's the kicker. Here's the snap, right? The snap is I had to make sure that I understood that I was worthy of those type of friendships.
Come on.
Healing.
And you said it, B, healing. The only way that I knew that was by first healing within, because I would always attract the wrong person. But how am I going to meditate, zero in on the type of friendships that I want if I didn't think I was worthy of it?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to focus on that. And now I'm going to share with you I always write affirmations on what do they call it, a erasing board, and I put it in my little sacred space in my personal room where I go and meditate and everything, and I repeat it. At the time that I was going through it, I repeated it every day, right? In my prayer closet at that time. But now I have my sacred space and I do different types of meditation for the things that I need. But anyway, I'm going to say it, and I would invite you guys to mouth it because I know sometimes it might sound muffled. So I'm going to repeat one line and I'm going to pause and you repeat after me until the end. And the end, of course, I always end with Ashe. So you know I'll be finished. All right? So here we go. I am love.
I am love.
I am deserving of love.
I am deserving.
I honor reciprocity.
I honor reciprocity.
I have expectations of reciprocity.
I have expectations of reciprocity.
I am deserving of friendships that hold space and listen.
I am deserving of friendships that hold space and listen.
I am in alignment with divine connection.
I am in alignment with divine connection.
I am deserving of divine friendships.
I am deserving
of divine friendships.
I sow into my connections.
I sow into
my connections.
I want my connections to pour into me.
I want
my
my
connections to pour into me.
I am light.
I am light.
And I align with light.
And I align with light.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ooh, that was good.
This.
That's beautiful.
So, with that being said, that was my meditation for friendships. But you can create your own. What do you really want when you really think about it? When you visualize, like Natalie said, how do you see friendships? When you did that visualization, I automatically went to Marsha's birthday with all of us being there. It
was so fun.
There, being on Yolande's couch and drinking wine and just affirm your friendships and then say it repeatedly. It will manifest. Ashe.
Yes. Ashe.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Oh, that was so good.
It's just perfect for us to transition over into her sacred soul plate. And here in this section is where we are just going to encourage you to take certain, whatever it is that you got from this episode, let it lock into your soul. Walk with it. Let it become a part of you. And like Kia said, knowing that you deserve this, this is your soul path.
Yeah.
And our soul path is so beautiful. And sometimes we don't even recognize, just like how Nellie met that lady at Publix, it is a part of her soul path.
Yeah.
No, she may, chills. Whoa.
No.
Oh, yes. Wow. Yes. Beautiful. You may not know what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now. Just like what you put on Facebook when you created that page and God told you to hold the page. You didn't hold that page, Natalie. And you held that page for her sacred soul space. So let's talk about what do we want to leave with our viewers, for them to keep on their soul plate, put on their heart and their soul. What is it that one thing from this episode, each of us could throw out one thing from this episode that you want our viewers to keep on their soul, in their soul? Yes.
Well, I know we never said this, but this is one thing I want them to know. It's okay to let people go.
Yes.
It is okay to let people go. Give yourself permission to have a better quality circle of friends if you don't like the one you currently have, and make it okay. Give yourself permission to let people go.
I'm going to jump in there because this too, I'm going to say that we didn't really talk about, but it's important. It's just like when you jot down what is it you look for in a man, you jot down what is it you look for in a friendship. Know what your non-negotiables are. Let me look at you directly. Know what your non-negotiables are, beautiful soul. Know what is it that you need who is it, what type of energy you need to walk with you, especially when you're trying to clear up your quantum field, your energy field. That is, you have to have individuals, women that are going to walk with you, that are going to motivate you, uplift you, create a safe space for you. Okay. So know what your non-negotiables are.
Yes.
Yes.
Your growth requires it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, and give yourself permission to show up as you in your friendships.
Ah,
Ooh, good.
yes.
Yeah.
Good. Allow yourself to be seen.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what you said.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be seen
Show up
as
as
who
you.
you are.
Yes.
Yes, Natalie. That's good stuff.
Deep. That's deep. And not a chill, Natalie. You're on the road today.
Right?
Yes, you're on the road today.
Ah,
Oh my gosh.
I guess I would say nurture your friendships. We're easy to say what we need.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy
Yes.
to look for people that can supply, but what can you give?
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
important to give to your friendships just as much as you need from friendships.
Ah,
Reciprocity,
good.
that is
Yeah.
most important.
Reciprocity.
A lot of times we are selfish because we feel like, gimme, 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 you're not here for me. But think about it. And this is another way to know who your friends really are. Who do you not have any second thought about being there for? Those people. If you have to question being there for somebody,
Wow.
not your
Ooh.
Definitely think about it.
Ooh.
Who do I show up for without even thinking?
Mm.
And allow yourself to nurture those friendships consistently and don't be selfish.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Love
That's
it.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on the road, guys.
Say, that was rich.
Yeah.
That was rich.
Yes.
That was rich.
Wow.
You know, as you continue on your identity switch
Mm.
in your path of becoming,
Mm-hmm.
it is so important that you give yourself the grace that you need. It's so important that you surround yourself with the people that you need in this season of your life. It's also more important to purge yourself of those you no longer need.
Mm-hmm.
Just as the trees change colors or
Mm-hmm.
fall,
Come on.
that's the same thing that happens with us in our lives, right?
Yes.
As I said, there are times when, unexpectedly, a shift can occur, and it's all right. Everybody may not get there with you, and that's okay. There are some
Yes.
people who are meant to be in your life for a season, in a reason. Everybody serves a purpose, but give
Absolutely.
yourself the grace. And when spirit starts to speak about a person,
Mm.
spirit will continue to get louder and louder and louder until you yield and listen. It's up to
Listen.
you how much you want to experience the torture and the torment.
Mm.
And your other life and your better life is on the other side
Decide.
of your yes.
Mm-hmm.
And your pain is not your fault, but your healing is your
Is-
responsibility.
Mercy.
And if your
Absolutely.
life does not look like how you want it to currently look at any
Mercy.
moment, it is up to you to first choose you. Choose you first. We spend so much time pouring out, giving out, because why? We're searching for love.
Mm-hmm.
Love and light starts with you and is in you and lives in you. And you must dig up the dirt. You must dig up and excavate what doesn't need to be there in order to produce and create the life that you want to live. The life that you want to live is in your hands, nobody else's. Your happiness is in your hands and nobody's responsibility. So
Yes.
it's time for us to stop blaming others
Yes.
and stop having a pity party. Put on your big girl panties and take responsibility for your life, your friendships, and what it looks like, and choose you. And as you heal and become better, I guarantee you, light attracts light. You're only going to attract those who want to serve you,
Yes.
those who want to be there for you, people who are eager and anxious to solve your problems. How about that?
How
who,
about
who
that?
are volunteering, who are like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? You know, that's what you're going to attract.
Yes.
Yes.
I almost said people of God. I thought I was in church.
Listen, I just said to myself, I said, Steph, I want to throw my shoe
Deep.
because
It is up to you. Take responsibility. That's what I want to
yes,
encourage you to do today. Choose
Yeah.
you. It's okay. It's not selfish. If you don't
Yes.
choose you, who gonna choose you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
love that.
That's
it's been
good.
a pleasure.
It's hold on, hold on. Listen, I want to acknowledge or to say this. What we're giving you, it's like your way of doing a soul manifestation, right? These tools or what we want you to keep in your soul plate. We want you not just to hear it, but to let it resonate, apply it, believe it, pray for it. Whether you want to journal about it, just like how Natalie asked us to envision what our friendship looks like, continue to do so on your own. It will trickle in. This is how you shift your energy. This is how you shift, how you vibrate, and this is how you call in those that belong to walk with you on this journey. Okay, so just want to say that. So no, we can't close out, right? We love Unu so
Yes.
much. So one love always,
My
and
God.
thank you so much for tapping in with us.
Yes.
Yes,
Boom.
One love.
absolutely.
What good?
Hey, Dale.